The S10 Plus from Samsung came out in 2019 and was supposed to be the everything phone. For the last 2 years, I've been using the OnePlus 7 Pro, but I wanted better cameras, so I picked up the S10 Plus. But this phone is not all it's cracked up to be. Now, I've owned Samsung phones before, specifically the S8, and I spent a little bit of time with the S9. My girlfriend has always been a fan of Samsung and has always had notes. The S10 Plus I found appealing because of the rear camera array and the design of the phone overall. I love where the camera is placed, and I love this white 512 gig version I have. But let's focus in on the biggest departure from my current phone, the OnePlus 7 Pro, and that's that horrible punch hole in the front. It interferes on everything you watch, and honestly is an eyesore when you're coming from a completely notchless and punch hole-less screen like the OnePlus 7 Pro. Not only that, every review I saw of this phone was touting how amazing the screen looked, that it was the top screen, nothing can beat it. Well, here's the proof to show you that the Pixel 3 that I own looks much better than the S10 Plus. Now, of course, this is a thing of preference, but I felt like the S10 Plus screen was washed out compared to the Pixel 3 and the OnePlus 7 Pro I have. Since we're on the topic of the front of this phone, that brings me to the speakers. Something that was talked about by all the top tech channels on YouTube was how amazing these stereo speakers were. And I'm sorry, but they're not. Just take a listen.
Cherry flavor. This devilish elixir has a kiss of cherry.
Dad, it's not kiss, it's kiss of cherry. It's amazingly smooth. Be smooth.
Dr. Pepper Cherry is amazingly smooth.
Sticking to the front of the phone, this is footage from the front-facing camera. I wasn't too impressed with it, honestly, because it just did a lot of focus hunting. It was really washed out in skin tones, and honestly, it just, again, I'm sorry, but I have to compete it against my current phone, which is the OnePlus 7 Pro. It just wasn't touching it with the front-facing camera. But let's move on to the performance of the phone. Honestly, once again, I just was not impressed with the phone. I was so disappointed, not because it's 60 hertz and I'm coming from 90 hertz, but it just was not as fast, and it had a lot of hangups, as you'll see when I was trying to play Mortal Kombat, which is something I play every day. I log in every day on that game, and it never gives me issues on the 7 Pro. But on the S10 Plus, there was so much lag, it was loading forever. Really quick in-between break here. I'm editing this video right now, and this is the most difficult video I've ever had to edit because it's the first time I ever did 4K 60 frames per second from a phone, and my computer is just dying out. Even though I have 32 gigs of RAM, 1.5 SSD, and a 2060 RTX card, Reaper is just dying on me while I'm editing this. Now back to the video. Now, everything isn't bad about the S10 Plus, because if we turn our attention to the rear of the phone, it's absolutely gorgeous. From the color to the build to the weight, everything about the phone looks premium from the back. I even like the wireless power share feature, which I've never had on a phone before, but I'm glad this phone has it. And call quality, which should be important in any phone, was actually really good with this one. But the main attention to the back are those three cameras. You've got a standard, an ultra wide, and a telephoto. The rear camera to me was pretty good. Albeit bland in colors to me, it still took good pictures. The dynamic range on the rear was really impressive. Plus, Samsung's app has a lot of cool features and modes. My favorite part was video from the rear camera. I mean, take a look at this footage right here. It looks like I'm holding a GoPro, an ultra wide. I mean, it's so stable and it's just perfect view for vlogging. And admittedly so, the camera does pretty well in low light. I mean, all the colors are coming out here. Nothing's really blown out. Take a look here at the ultra wide photos, the standard lens, and of course the telephoto. But as you see, even at nighttime, these photos look a little muddy and not as detailed as I'm used to with a Pixel 3 and a OnePlus 7 Pro. I can't believe I'm saying that. What you're looking at right now is a super steady footage, which was amazing, honestly. Yes, you're seeing some shakiness, but I'm running. So, what are my final thoughts on the Samsung S10 Plus, which I'm filming this on right now and using an external mic? I think it's a good phone. And for the price you can get it at right now, $480, which is what I bought it for, really great. But I would go with the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's just not as smooth as OnePlus. And even though OnePlus is losing me with their slow updating and lack of camera features, I really can't leave that smooth, fluid 90 hertz display that the OnePlus 7 Pro has. And you can get the 7 Pro for cheaper than you can the S10 Plus. But at the end of the day, if you're a Samsung person and you're stuck on like the S7 or S8, definitely pick up an S10 Plus because it is cheaper than the S20, S21, Notes, and all that stuff. And it is a good phone. But once you experience OnePlus, it's hard to go back to Samsung, in my opinion. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you. And for that, if you have an S10 Plus, I've got a giveaway for you. All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will announce the winner in just a few weeks. Thanks for watching my review of the S10 Plus in 2021.